In this question, there are two men, A and B, of the masses as shown, are standing on a rough block of mass 40 kg. The lower surface of this block, which is touching the ground, is frictionless, and the length of this block is 120 centimeters. Now, A and B starts to move in such a way such that they will meet eventually, and this block will also move due to the movement of A and B. It is also given that B is standing in the middle of the plank initially, and A is standing on the left end of the plank initially, and B is moving in such a way such that the displacement of B with respect to ground is 0. So in these kind of questions, the first step which we should follow is the assumption of the displacements in vector form. So let us assume the displacements and let us mark the x and y axis. This is x axis and this is y axis. So the displacement of A with respect to ground is, let's suppose, xa in forward direction, which is positive x axis. Now the displacement of B is 0 because it is given that the B is stationary with respect to ground and the displacement of plank can be assumed in either of the direction. So let us assume the displacement of plank in backward direction. So xp is equal to minus xp I cap. Okay, so this is the first step which we have to follow. Now the second step is writing the equation of mass movement. We know that for a system, this system complete, the net external force is 0. So the sum of mass movement mi into xi is 0. I starts from 0 to n. The sum of this mass movement for this system will be 0, and therefore mass of A into xa plus mass of B into xb plus mass of C into xc is equal to 0, and mass of A is 40, x is xa I cap plus mass of B is 60 but xb is 0, so this is 0, plus xc, mass of C is 40 and xc is minus xp I cap, so this is minus xp I cap is equal to 0. So we can say that xa is equal to xp from this equation. Okay, so this is the first result. Now it is also given that A and B will eventually meet. So the distance between A and B will be traveled by both of them, and this distance is 60 centimeters. So the displacement of A with respect to plank minus the displacement of B with respect to plank, this is the relative equation, is equal to 60 because they both have covered this displacement 60. So displacement of A with respect to plank is xa minus xp and in vector form I can write that xa is xa I cap, and we know that xa and xp are equal in magnitude, so I am writing xp as xa, but xp is minus xp I cap, so this is minus xp I cap. So xap is equal to 2xa I cap, and xbp is xb minus xp. So xb p is equal to 0, minus xp is minus xp I cap. So xbp is equal to plus xp I cap. Now we have to substitute these values in this equation, second equation. So 2xa I cap minus xp, which is also equal to xa I cap, is equal to 60. So xa is equal to 60. So this is the equation which is given, that xa is equal to 60. We are assuming that this 60 is also in the I cap direction. Okay, so this is I cap. So xa is equal to 60. Now xp will be the displacement of Planck P in the backward direction, and we know that xa and xp are equal. So this 60 is also the displacement of Planck. So this is also equal to 60. So if this man A is moving in the forward direction by a distance of 60 and Planck is moving in the backward direction by a displacement of 60, then we can say that the final displacement of A with respect to Planck will be xa minus xp in vector form, and as they both are in opposite directions, so xap will be equal to 2xa, which is equal to 120 centimeters, which means to meet B, A will travel a distance of 120 centimeter with respect to Planck, and therefore A will meet B on the other end of the Planck, this end. So the correct answer for the point where A and B will meet will be the C, which is the right end of the Planck. Now let's move on the next question. In this question, there is a man of 60 kg which starts to fall from a building of height 80 meters. You can see that. And he has a bag of mass 2 kg in his hand, and after falling through a distance of 20 meter, he realizes that he will fall on this hard ground. But he wishes to jump in the pond which is nearby the ground, and to jump in the pond, he throws this bag in horizontal direction with respect to him when he has descended by a distance of 20 meters. So this man just falls in the pond, and we have to find out the distance, horizontal distance by which this bag will fall from this vertical line. So this is a vertical line, and from this point he throws the bag in somewhere forward or backward direction, and this bag will fall either here or either here, and we have to calculate this distance, horizontal distance of the block, this bag. Now we need to understand that how much time is left with the man so that he could save his life by jumping into the pond. So if we need to calculate the time which is left, it is calculated by under root 2h by g. So t will be equal to root of 2, h is equal to 60 and g is equal to 10. So t will be equal to root of 12. So this much time is left with the man so that he could save his life. Now he throws the bag in such a direction such that he will fall in the pond, and to fall in the pond he has to acquire a velocity in the backward direction, so he has to throw the bag in forward direction. So let's suppose the velocity of this man in the backward direction is Vm and the velocity of bag is Vb. So the net force on this man and the bag in x-axis is 0. Therefore, we can balance out the momentum, that mass of bag into velocity of bag is equal to mass of man into velocity of man. Okay, because initial momentum was 0, therefore final momentum will also be 0 of the system, obviously, and therefore the momentum of bag in backward direction will be equal to the momentum of man in the forward direction. So the mass of man is 60 kg and its velocity is, let's suppose, vb, and the mass of this bag is 2 kg and its velocity is equal to vb. Okay, so this is the velocity of man, sorry. Okay, so vb is equal to 30 vm. Now what is vm? Vm is the minimum required velocity with which man should move in the horizontal direction so that he jumps in the pond just in time. Now the time which he has is under root 2h by g, and therefore the velocity by which he should move, the minimum velocity vm, should be equal to distance, which is 2 meters, upon time, and therefore vm is equal to 2 upon root 12. Okay, so this is the velocity of the man. Now velocity of the bag should be 30 times of vm. So this is 30 into 2 by root 12. Okay, so the distance by which this bag will move in the same time, so because the bag has been given a velocity in the horizontal direction, therefore the time of flight of the bag will also be equal to the time in which the man will fall in the pond, which is equal to root of 12. So the distance s will be equal to velocity into time. So s of bag will be equal to 60 upon root 12 into root 12. So distance moved by that bag will be 60 meters in backward direction, like that. Okay, now let's move on the next question. In this question, there is a man who is standing on a railway cart. A railway cart is a flat car you must have seen, which can run on railway tracks. So these are railway tracks and this is the cart. The standing man is this. Now this man starts to walk with a velocity v relative to the car. So let us suppose that he is walking in the direction of the tracks, parallel to the tracks, with velocity v relative to the cart. But we know that when this man will start to walk, then the cart will move in the backward direction due to the law of conservation of momentum. So cart is moving in the backward direction with some velocity v2, and man is moving in the forward direction with some velocity v1. Now this v1 is velocity of man with respect to ground. So v1 plus v2 will be the relative velocity of man with respect to cart, and this is given as v. So the velocity of man v1 is also less than v, and velocity of cart v2 is also less than v. This we can easily understand. Now the work done by the cart on man is equal to, and it is opposite in sign to, the work done by man on cart, because the force which man applies on the cart and the force which cart applies on the man is the internal force of their system, and work done by internal forces is 0. So the total work done of man and cart on each other will be 0. Therefore I can say that the work done by cart on the man will be equal and will be in negative sign to the work done by the man on the cart. So the work done by man on the cart, or work done by cart on man, is equal to change in kinetic energy of man, and the kinetic energy of the man is half m v1 square. you should always remember, then when you are writing the work done and you are equating it to change in kinetic energy, then that kinetic energy should be with respect to ground only. So the velocity or the speed which I am taking in the expression of kinetic energy should be the speed with respect to the ground. So this is half m v1 square, and obviously if this is w, then this w is less than half m v square, because v is less than v1 is less than v. Okay, so if this is the work done by cart on the man, then work done by man on cart will also be less than half mv square. So the one for A option is the correct one. And if this man is moving normal to the tracks, which means if he is moving like that, then obviously cart will not move, because the cart is restricted to move perpendicular to the tracks, and therefore the velocity which is given of the man with respect to cart, this v, will be the velocity of the man with respect to ground also, because the velocity of the cart is 0. So the work done by the man on the cart will be equal to the work done by the cart on the man. So it would be equal to half m v square. Okay, so now let's move on the next question. In this question, there is a skater of mass small m and he has a stone of mass capital M in his hand. Now he throws this stone in horizontal direction in front side and with velocity v. Now this skater is standing on a rough ice block, and therefore when it will move, then friction will act on the skater. But at the time when he is throwing the stone, then there is no friction acting on the skater. Therefore, the net external force on the system of skater and the stone is 0. So we can conserve the momentum, and we can write that m into v is equal to m into v dash. Okay, so this v dash will be equal to mv by small m. Now we have to find out the distance by which this skater will move back on this rough ice block. So obviously to calculate that distance, we can equate the kinetic energy of the skater, which is initially half small m into v dash square, and when the moment when the skater will be retarded and it would come to rest, then the complete kinetic energy of the skater would be utilized in work done against friction. So work done against friction will be equal to F into distance x, and the friction acting on this skater would be mu mg, and distance is x. So if we equate this kinetic energy with work done against friction, then half m v dash square is m square v square by m square. This is equal to mu mg x. Okay, so cancelling out this m with m, and x is equal to m square v square by 2 m square mu g. So this is the distance by which this skater will move in the backward direction. So the correct option will be option number C. Now let's move on the next question. In this question, there is a tube of some mass m and radius r. This tube is being kept on a frictionless surface, and this block of mass, same mass m, is being placed at the highest point of the tube, touching the tube. Now this block is given slight displacement and it starts to move down the tube. We have to find out that displacement of the tube when this block will reach this point. So this is also a question in which we have to evaluate the displacements of tube and the block. So we can easily assume that this is the question of balancing the mass movements. So let's suppose this block moves in the forward direction by a distance of x1 and tube moves in the backward direction by a distance of x2. Because as the block will move in the forward direction, tube will go in the backward direction to conserve the momentum, as the net external force on this system is 0. So we can say that m into x1 minus m into x2 is the net mass movement, and that would be equal to 0 because center of mass will not move as the net external force on the system is 0. So x1 is equal to x2. Now also we can say that when this block will come at this point, then the distance moved by the block in x-axis is r relative to the tube. So with respect to tube, the block has been displaced by a distance of r. So the relative displacement of the block with respect to tube is r, and therefore the relative displacement will be x1 minus of minus x2, because x2 is in the reverse direction. So this is x1 plus x2 is equal to r, and from equation number 1 this x1 is equal to x2. So 2x1 is equal to r and x1 is equal to r by 2, and also x2 is equal to r by 2. Now let's move on the next question. In this question there is a balloon. You can see the balloon which has a mass of capital M, and it is attached with a rope on which a mass m, a man of mass small m, is starting to climb up, and the velocity of that man with respect to the rope is v relative. Now we have to find out that in what direction and with what speed this balloon will move. So let us suppose that this man is climbing up with some velocity vm, and therefore this balloon is descending down with some velocity vb. So we can see that this system is having only mg, which is acting in the downward direction, and mg is a non-impulsive force. This is a non-impulsive force. So if there is no impulsive force acting on the system, then we can balance the momentum, although the net force on the system is not 0. So it is very important to note that although the net force on any system is non-zero, then also we can balance the instantaneous momentum, because at that instant of time the forces which are acting on that system are non-impulsive. So we can balance the momentum of this system, and therefore we can write down that mvb, which is the momentum of balloon in downward direction, plus small m vm, which is the momentum of man in upward direction, is 0, and therefore mvb plus, in fact, mvb is equal to mvm. This is the first equation. Now we know that the relative velocity of man with respect to rope is v relative, and rope is attached to balloon, so the velocity of rope is the velocity of balloon. Therefore vrl, v relative, is vm minus of vb. Now this is in vector form. We know that this man is ascending up and this balloon is descending down, so the velocity of balloon would be taken with the negative sign. So v relative will be vm plus vb. Okay, so this is the second equation. Now we need to find out the velocity of balloon, so we can replace the velocity of man by this equation. Vm is equal to mvb upon small m, and therefore v relative is equal to Vm plus Vb, and replacing this Vm, this is mVb upon m plus Vb. So V relative is equal to Vb m plus m upon m, and Vb is therefore equal to m V relative upon m plus m. This is the velocity of balloon, and this is the velocity in downward direction. So the correct answer is option number A. Now let's move on the next question.